Oh wow, is my friend Fiedelbaum gonna love.
After you've laid the parts out and emptied the box, take a look at the manual and then do a parts count. Make sure you have all the pieces that you need and check them against the manual. Right inside the first page, there's an exploded diagram that shows all the major components to the kit. Take a look at that, because not only does it tell you what's in there, it'll also give you an idea of what you need to do to make sure you've got a great 4-bike rack thanks to OutfitR. Step 1, assemble primary frame. 2 arms on each side. We put 1 bolt and 1 wing nut. Next step is to insert the vertical support arm using the same fasteners we did on these other support arms, the horizontal ones, and make sure we get the teeth pointed in the right direction, which the manual shows as being to the short side of this extension here. Just note as we go forward that these wing nuts, I'm going to call them, allow you to tighten and loosen the arm so that you can swing it in various directions. You just have to loosen it enough to get the bolt head over that hex side on the other side. And then once you do that, it'll lay right over. So that's going to be very handy for when it's on the bike. Okay, that's steps 1 and 2, the short support with the horizontal and vertical supports to put the bike rack in. Let's see what's next. Okay, we next attach the folding shank, which is this piece right here, to the short support arm, and we use this chunky fella right here. And since that bolt that holds the folding shank on is so beefy and strong, I don't have the correct metric size to grab it. So I'm going to go back to the mechanic's friend, and that is a crescent wrench and a channel lock to tighten it on. Now since it's a lock nut on this, you don't need to over tighten it. The plastic on the lock nut will hold it in place. You just want to snug it down. After all, this is going to be swiveling once it's installed. So we're just going to snug it up. All right, the next thing we put onto the folding shank is a little pin with a cotter to hold it in place, and that's what allows us to get it in place and let us move it up and down. So let's put that on. While you're all watching, you can see how clumsy I am. The manual shows it going in from that side. Got it on this side. There we go. Got it on the other side. We take the cotter pin. This is the part that I imagine will go into the trailer hitch on your car. But we're not looking too bad here. Okay, the next thing we do is the extension frame, and that's what makes it a 4-bike rack. And since it's exactly the same we did on the short frame, I'm going to do that off camera. So I'm going to spare you this part. Lucky you. All right, the next thing we do is attach the vertical support arm to this back assembly, and pay attention to this grid here because it's important. And in the diagram it says to point that back from the long piece. So pay attention to that part. I'll go ahead and put it on off camera. Okay, the next thing we do is put the extension onto the front of the racks here using this threaded cotter pin bolt, I guess I'll call it. You notice it has a threaded shoulder, and there are threads on this hole to match that. And then on the other side is our famous cotter pin to hold it in place no matter what. Now we have a spring washer and a washer, and they go on this side of the assembly where the threads are. So let's see if I can align that. Let's take a chance on camera. What the heck? Not going to be easy to get that to slide in just the way we want it. So I might have to make myself look better than I really am there. All right, we got them together. Let's see, does that line up? Well, son of a gun, it does. Okay, now we're going to tighten that baby in there. Try it by hand. It's going in well by hand. Now the idea behind this, of course, is that if you want to break this down and only use it to transport 2 bicycles at a time, you'll be able to do that. So I'm going to switch around over here and just keep drawing it through on that side using those threads. Okay, we got it down. Once again, you don't need to take it down all that much. You probably want to take it down to the point where the spring washer is flattened. Then we put the cotter pin over on this side, and there she is. We have a 4-bike rack, or the starting of it anyway, or the beginning, or the middle. I'm not sure. You tell me what part this is. Let's pan back out and take a look at it. But there you have it, starting to take shape. Starting to take shape. Okay, next we'll be putting on the saddles, I am sure. But that gets us this far. It's looking like a bike rack. Nice. Hey, this is starting to look like a real 4-bike rack by Outfitter. So our next step is to put on the tire cradles. Pay attention because there's certain order that they go in. And it's in the manual, you can take a look. But they go on with these thumb screw, or I'm going to call them thumb screws or whatever, like that. And just reading the other side, you just put them on. And now we put on the J-hooks. I wonder why they call them J-hooks. Any idea? Anyway, there's a long one and a short one. And the sequence they go on is important, so pay attention to that. They're going to attach to these rough ratchet lines on the back of the vertical stand. The long one goes on the front side, or I'm going to call it the car-facing side. There's a little knob here that you push back to engage or disengage from the ratchet marks on the back of the bike. So right now I'm going to put it down. Isn't that loud and wonderful? I'm going to put it down a ways, and then I'm going to put the short one, the J22 that's called, on the back side. There we go. Okay, repeat the process on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a completed 4-bike rack by Outfitter. I'm really impressed with the engineering. The next step will be to put it on to my SUV and try it out in the field. I will do that in a follow-up video. If you have any questions at all about the assembly and things to watch out for, well then let me know. There are no tools that come with the kit, so you'll need to supply your own tools. Tools that I used, I'll show you in just a moment. Can you see me? Let me get down to your level here. Tools that I used are a 17 and 20 millimeter socket. I used a deep socket. You don't have to, it can be a short socket. Of course, a ratchet. I like these ratchets that swivel this way. And then my good old trusty channel locks and my crescent wrench. Now I needed those for that great big solid bolt. And if you have the right size socket for that, you could use that. I do not. But that's it. That's all the tools I needed. I would say budget about 2 hours to put it together. It's nice to have a friend because there are parts that are rather heavy. And it's nice to have somebody hold something steady while you put it together. And I would say take your time and allow for taking something on and off a couple times to see how it works out. But overall, I wouldn't say this is a very difficult thing to put together at all. I am going to call it easy peasy. She's done. Next scene, we're going to put it on the SUV and go for a ride.